All right, today we're going to talk about El Dorado Hills versus Folsom, California. We're going to talk about living in El Dorado Hills or Folsom and which one is better. So if you're considering moving into the area, this might be the one for you. Hey everybody, welcome to Sacramento's Real Estate Channel, where we talk everything there is to know about the brand new builds and of course, what there is to do here in Sacramento. If you've been thinking about making a move to the area, subscribe to the channel. And just so you know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll see you there. All right, well, there it is. Welcome to the channel, guys. Today, we're going to talk about what it's like to live in El Dorado Hills or Folsom, California. Now, we get questions a lot about both of these areas. As you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, my name is Sam with Golovey Real Estate. We have a local brokerage here in the Sacramento greater Sacramento area. We have a lot of clients reaching out to us, even through the channel, because we do a lot of the home tours, kind of showing what's going on in the different communities. So again, some of the comparison is typically El Dorado Hills or Folsom. Which one to move into? You know, when we have clients moving in from out of town, let's say from a different city, like different cities around Bay Area or even other states, typically, you know, the top 2 or 3 places noted would be Folsom and El Dorado Hills. And so I wanted to break down both today and kind of do a comparison because I know they can kind of intertwine with each other, but they are definitely different. So I'm going to talk about kind of the field, the different pros, some of the cons to each one, the different things to do, shopping, and of course, price points and kind of some market data so you know what you're getting into as far as buying a home here. We're also going to bring up some of the new construction. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned with us because I'll review all of those. And also, if you guys would like more information on either living in El Dorado Hills or living in Folsom, I'm going to link a ton of our videos that we've already done. So if you're doing in-depth research, those might be some great ones for you to review. I know I already got a few people saying hi on the chat. So if you guys like El Dorado Hills or Folsom, I'd like to know from you which one is better and why. And if you guys live in the area, it would be great to hear from you on that. So I already have Andre on here saying El Dorado Hills for more land and privacy. I totally agree, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. So El Dorado Hills, let's talk about the feel of El Dorado Hills. Again, just like what Andre said right here on the chat, you do get more land and privacy. One thing that's notable about El Dorado Hills, it's kind of already the beginning of the foothills here outside the greater Sacramento area. Also, El Dorado Hills is technically already going into a different county. So that's also a major differentiation. But with El Dorado Hills, a lot of the properties can, you know, if you go kind of more rural, you can get something with an acre, 2 acres or more. I've seen properties out here with 10 or more acres, just depending where you land. So you can go more rural, even kind of older home, or you can go new construction, or even semi-custom, custom-built luxury home. I mean, it's one of the more premier areas, I would say, for the Sacramento region, hands down. Probably definitely top 5 luxury markets. So here you can easily spend $1 million or up on a property. Of course, there's much more affordable price points. But usually when we're talking about El Dorado Hills or people having an attraction to El Dorado Hills is because it has those beautiful one-of-a-kind homes, a lot of Mediterranean, Tuscan style homes that kind of give you that luxury higher end feel. You know, I've been to Italy before, and I would say that the style of homes kind of reminds you of that sometimes when you're looking at the homes on the hillside, you know, overlooking Folsom Lake. So it's got some really gorgeous views, really beautiful kind of nature space in between, a lot of wooded areas with oak trees and kind of open land. So beautiful area. Now, feel of Folsom, I would say certain parts of Folsom carry that, but I would definitely say it doesn't have as much rural ability or properties with acreage, at least that I've seen. So it's more track home style, I would say. But of course, in Folsom, certain pockets, you do definitely have semi-custom, custom homes that are just absolutely gorgeous. Again, $1 million mark and up, multi-million-dollar homes here in Folsom. And a lot of them have views as well. So you kind of have a mix in both, but definitely I would say El Dorado Hills, like Andre pointed out here, for more land and privacy. So if you kind of want that separation, kind of further away from the city life, if you will, that's a good option. Now I'm going to talk about kind of some pros and cons that I've seen. So I've helped a lot of clients buy in both areas, search in both areas, and I would say that there's definitely some differences going on with either. Now with El Dorado Hills, like I said, you get that separation, but with that comes a con for some people that I've been hearing back, kind of feedback from clients. And a lot of that has to do with the commute. They really don't like having a property that's kind of up the hill, even though it gives them that privacy and whatnot. But when it comes to day-to-day, driving kids to school, commuting to work, especially if they have to be in an office setting, those can definitely kind of add on to time of commute and just daily activities. So that is one con I would say of El Dorado Hills. But again, depends where you land in El Dorado Hills. The other thing I would say is just like we mentioned, there's a lot of wooded areas, rural properties, and it's on the start of the foothills there. So some of these properties may actually require fire insurance. So keep that in mind. Fire insurance has gotten really expensive over the last few years, especially with all the California fires. Now, we haven't really gotten fires too close to El Dorado Hills, so that's one thing I wouldn't really be worried about. But overall, just keep that in mind, is that certain properties, if you plan on writing an offer or you're working with an agent, they should definitely know if that property is requiring that fire insurance, if the previous owner had fire insurance on it, so they can give you a rough estimate. But the best way would be to talk to an insurance broker, a local broker, who could run a quote for you and see kind of what the insurance looks like on that property. So keep that in mind, having that separation and stuff and being more in a woodsy area, beautiful, but sometimes we have to pay for it just with the situation we have now. Now, the other thing is this, back to the commute. I love El Dorado Hills. We were actually just talking about it before the show with my lady. I guess I could say that on live. It's kind of interesting, so I have to be a little bit more cautious. But we were talking about it, like living in El Dorado Hills, is that the commute thing. As an active real estate agent in our market and working in the greater Sacramento area, that commute could easily be 30, 45 minutes to get to another part of town, or even, we work a lot also in like the Rockland area and things like that. That's an easily half-hour drive, even taking the back roads. So again, not really feasible for someone who commutes a lot, but I do have a lot of clients that either work from home or don't really mind the commute. They love the feel of it. It definitely has a different feel to it. So El Dorado Hills is definitely top choice. Now, let's get into some of the cons of Folsom. So in my opinion, Folsom can get a little bit too busy. It's been expanding like crazy. It's had a lot of people wanting to move into the area. So with that being said, Folsom is getting a lot of attention, and it's just getting busy. Sometimes during traffic hours, even on certain roads, around certain shopping plazas or areas, it just gets jam-packed, like too packed. And you just don't want to be driving around there. So that's kind of unfortunate. The other thing is this. Even though Folsom a few years ago, I believe it was in Sunset Magazine, was rated like one of the best and safest places to raise a family, the irony is there is an actual state prison in Folsom. So keep that in mind. Most people don't consider that. Now, does that worry me personally? No, I'd be fine totally to live not far from there. In fact, I would say the prison has some of the most premium real estate in Folsom, which is pretty ironic. But that is one thing to consider. For some people, they don't like that. The other thing is this, dealing with all the new construction. We've talked about it on the channel, but some of the hot zones have been like either moving into Folsom Ranch or Russell Ranch. That's basically when you're seeing Highway 50, just south of Highway 50 is all that new development going on. A ton of new construction homes. I think right now in the first phase, it's expected to be about 11,000 homes coming into that area. So tons of homes. Now, with that being said, a lot more people in the area when it comes to shopping, amenities, and so forth, but also the traffic. So the traffic is definitely going to pick up, but the construction it gets old after a while, driving, and there's traffic cones everywhere, bulldozers, dust, things of that sort. So keep that in mind. If you buy in those new areas, which a lot of my clients have, and there's still a lot of interest, we work that area a lot. Even though it has that, desirability to it, some people don't really want to deal with all that construction for the next few years, because that's the reality of that. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. So I do have Buffalo Bobby hopping on. And again, if you guys have questions or just want to throw something in the chat, I really appreciate it. In fact, it helps the algorithm out. So if you hate Folsom, you hate El Dorado Hills, write it in the chat. It helps me out. So Buffalo Bobby, good to see you on the channel. What's up, Sam? I love this topic. Thanks for being on. Also, I got Andre writing here again. Yes, traffic, a huge issue. In Folsom, city officials do very little to mitigate the increased traffic. Is going to double in size in the next decade. I would say he's not far from the truth on that one, especially with all that new construction coming into Folsom. You do have to consider just population growth. In fact, there was even some articles coming out in Sacramento, local articles saying that we're probably going to have a water shortage, or there's not enough water to supply all these new homes coming into the Folsom area, especially with the droughts and such. Now, I know that they were kind of talking about they're going to fix that issue. I personally don't think it's an issue as of now, but that's something to think about. I mean, you could look it up. You could probably Google it about Folsom, and there's definitely been some complaints about that. But nonetheless, it's been one of those areas that's just been honestly probably number one place that I get asked about as far as people relocating in the area, whether they're local here in Sacramento and just want to buy something new, kind of more higher desirable area with amazing schools, or even people moving in from the Bay Area. That is a hot choice for a lot of people. So I do see that it might be kind of posing an issue for the next few years, especially with all that construction. So again, some of the cons here, every place you move into in the greater Sacramento, I can do a video on literally every single neighborhood and probably find a few cons. So again, these things probably won't deter anyone from either buying or selling in the area. Well, I should say they probably will sell, but maybe won't deter them from buying. But keep that in mind. Now, let's get into what is there to do around here. What can I expect if I'm moving into El Dorado Hills or Folsom? What's the shopping like? What are the amenities? What can I expect? And so I'm going to pull that up here. This is actually the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Now, beautiful photo. But this is the El Dorado Hills Town Center. It's got some big ponds, kind of like center water features with fountains. It's really cool. Really has a high-end, interesting kind of town center. It feels really high-end when you're going through it. It's kind of funny, but really beautiful. A lot of restaurants in here. Good place to hang out. Some coffee shops. Good places to eat, get ice cream, whatnot, or go for a walk in the evening. So El Dorado Hills, I would say this is kind of the main shopping center. Not too far from here, you also have movie theater, different kind of restaurants, again, kind of crowding that area, banks, local amenities like that. But you also have a Nugget Marketplace not too far from there as well. So that's kind of, I would say, a hub for the El Dorado Hills area. Now, I know there's tons of other shopping centers around there, don't get me wrong, and different grocery stores and whatnot, depending where you land. But El Dorado Hills Town Center is really cool. That's why I want to bring this up. I go and hang out there once in a while, catch a dinner, do a date night, whatever it might be. Really great area to hang out. On that too, they're actually leasing some units over there too. So if you're looking to kind of live in the town center, you can do that, which is really cool. I had a friend do that recently. So that's pretty cool. But there's also office space as well. So if you're in business or want to get an office out there, really cool location to kind of wine and dine clients around there. I think it's stellar. Some people even go jogging or riding bikes around there, kind of on the outskirts. There's some trails. So cool area in El Dorado Hills. Now, when we're talking about shopping, I also want to bring up in Folsom. So I would say, in my personal opinion, Folsom has the upper hand when it comes to shopping. This is the Palladio. Some people may say I'm pronouncing that wrong. I probably am. But I've been here a million times, and Palladio is awesome. They got Whole Foods Markets, kind of like your main grocery store there. But all around there, tons of walking space, sometimes live events in the summer. Again, with the previous shopping center, same thing. It's kind of a place to hang out with the family. Different events, different fairs will kind of come through here, depending on the season and whatnot. But tons of shopping around here. You can go shopping for clothes. There's a Barnes & Noble. There's some really great food in here, coffee shops, and also a movie theater as well. So that's kind of a hub, I would say, for Folsom when it comes to shopping. Right off the freeway, right off East Bidwell exit and 50. The one benefit of this, when we were talking about all the new construction going on in Folsom, right? All those 11,000 expected homes or more. those homes are literally a few minutes drive from the shopping center. So that's another big push over there, because that whole area can literally commute here to the Palladio in 5-10 minutes, depending where they live. So that proximity is a huge selling point of all those new communities, and we'll get into those on this show. So stay tuned for that. So again, huge shopping center here, just something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to other things to do around here, you also have a Costco in Folsom. That's kind of the main attraction. El Dorado Hills doesn't have a Costco yet. I wouldn't doubt if they get one in the future, but as of now, Folsom does. Now, Folsom, I would say, is kind of winning on this end, because I believe, and some people might, respond negatively to this, but I think Folsom has a better restaurant scene than El Dorado Hills. Now, I know both have some good ones, don't get me wrong, but I think that the restaurant scene is definitely growing more in Folsom. There's a lot more going on. Some highlights that I love going to would be Mikuni Sushi Restaurant. Big shout out to them. Those are local. And then also Iron Horse Tavern. Great. Zocalo's. Great kind of higher end Mexican food there. So really good restaurant choices here in Folsom. And if you guys have, like a preference, if you want to go eat or just have an abundance of options, I'd say Folsom's a better pick for that. So, okay, that's how that goes. Now, let's jump into pricing. And so that's just historic Folsom. I'll get to that later. But, shoot, why is someone calling me? Here we go. Don't call me. I'm live streaming. All right, guys. So, pricing right here. Here we go. Pricing for El Dorado Hills. Average sold price in El Dorado Hills. Again, this chart, you don't really have to pay attention. I'll give you the numbers right here. Average sold price in El Dorado Hills is $999,000 as of the recent stats. Now, you see here, it's only the closed data for November, but that's because December stats have not come out, but it's going to be generally pretty close to that. So you're looking at $999,000 is your average sold price for El Dorado Hills. Now, when we're talking about, when we're talking about the median sold price, which is that blue bar right there, median sold price are kind of your middle range between the high end and the low end. You're looking at a median sold price of $802K. Now, the other thing that you want to consider is how long does it actually take to sell a home in El Dorado Hills? So if you're a buyer in the marketplace, or if you're a seller and you want to have some realistic expectations, just because a home hit the market doesn't mean it's going to get sold in the first few days like they used to even earlier last year. So things are changing. Now, that does still happen. If a home is priced right, don't get me wrong, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, doesn't matter. If it's the right location, if it's got the right amenities, if it's remodeled, and if it's priced right, it's going to go. But just so you have some expectation, average days on the market right now for El Dorado Hills is about 40 days. So just a little over a month to sell a home on average here in El Dorado Hills. And I hope that helps you out. Now, let's get into the Folsom stats. So Folsom stats, average sold price for Folsom right now is $807,000. Okay, so that's the average sold price. And most of these homes, most of this data is just resale homes. So homes that were actually on the market. Some new construction is usually in there, but not too much. So typically just resale single family homes, okay? So average sold price for Folsom, $807K, so a little bit lower. Median sold price is $733,000. You can see there that blue bar. So median price is right there at $733,000. So Folsom is already looking a little bit more affordable as a whole. And then average days on the market for Folsom is 39 days. So not much different on how long it takes to sell. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys out. So when we're talking about median price, El Dorado Hills, $802K. Median sold price for Folsom, $733,000. So definitely a little bit of price differentiation. But when we're talking about luxury, high-end market, I mean, you can easily go in the $1 million up to $2.5 million mark for either area. So just keep that in mind, just kind of depending what you're shopping on. Now, I did want to hop into some of the new build construction. Since we're talking about pricing, I showed you guys kind of what's going on with pricing as far as those local markets. I also want to bring up what's going on with new construction. So this is a hot new area. We're going to break down El Dorado Hills new construction first. Now, there's, of course, custom, semi-custom homes being done kind of one at a time, or, just a few smaller developments. But I want to get into some of the bigger ones, the ones that a lot of people ask about. So this is Hidden Ridge by Toll Brothers. Toll Brothers is a huge national company that's coming in. We've gotten a lot of attention asking about them really. And these homes, they're going to start, you see the pricing here, but really more about 1.2, 1.3 million start. These are big homes, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. You can get single story floor plans or 2-story floor plans. Semi-custom, not too customizable, but when it comes to design features, you can really go above and beyond and really make them one of a kind. A lot of the homes here have beautiful views. Literally, you can see downtown on a clear day from most of these lots. So absolutely gorgeous homes. Highly recommend these. If you guys have that budget around 1.3 million or more, this may be a good one for you. So just really quickly to get through these, we also have, if you're looking for a more affordable option right now with new construction, Edgelake at Serrano. So these are more 2-story homes, little gated community, but it's in El Dorado Hills. The main thing, again, sometimes you're paying for location, and this is it. You're here in Serrano, which is a community within El Dorado Hills. This is a smaller gated community. 2-story homes. I actually linked the home tours to these homes down below, so you can see those in the description. But great starter homes. I mean, in the 700s, you can't go wrong. So if you're set on El Dorado Hills, this is beautiful. It's got a nice drive getting to the community. It's kind of slower pace of life out there in Serrano. So highly recommend that. Now, let's jump into new construction in Folsom. This is really where it gets exciting, because there is a ton of construction in Folsom, as we've talked about. This is Taylor Morrison. So Taylor Morrison, gotten a lot of interest about this one, but Taylor Morrison, again, another, I would say, big brand in our area. A lot of people really like him because they offer some really luxury finishes, and that's what really attracts a lot of people, because their homes just feel quality. Now, they have 3 new communities coming into the area. You can see here, Debut, Encore, and Legends, all different sizes, so different price points. I mean, you can get here in the high 700s is what they're estimating, into the high 600s, just depending on the size of home you want to get. So I think there's going to be a lot of attention on these homes. The models are not yet done, but they're already pre-selling. So if you guys would like to get on the list or get more information, we have it. So you can reach out to our team down below. We literally just booked some consultations with some clients this week with Taylor Morrison. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me and my team down below. I don't want to get into too many details on this video, just kind of showing you guys some options. Now, some other new construction that's coming in that I think is going to be hot for Folsom Ranch and really price effective would be this community by Tri-Pointe. And this is Lariat at Folsom Ranch. These homes are going to be 1,800 to 2,200 square feet. Not terribly huge, but when you're talking about Folsom Ranch, I would say your average size of home there is roughly 2,000 square feet anyway. So if you're looking for a family home, want to be in a brand new community and not pay the crazy prices, this would be a great community, because they're going to have really attractive pricing, I believe starting in the upper 600s. Again, if you'd like info on that, let us know down below. Another community they're building right nearby, Tri-Pointe, coming in hot, is going to be Canterley at Folsom Ranch. Now, I believe these are going to be more alley load style homes. So you kind of pull in between the homes and you're going to go right into your garage. So a little bit tighter there, but if you're a fan of low minimal maintenance and still want to be in Folsom Ranch, somewhat of an affordable price point, these are, I believe, are going to be starting in the high 5s, low 6s, if I'm not mistaken. So hot homes. Again, these models aren't open yet of what I'm showing you here, but since we've had so much interest about Folsom Ranch, I thought I'd bring it up today, kind of give you guys a little bit of a teaser. And if you want to get on that, list, or get on that entry list to make sure that you're on the front pace of being able to get one of these homes, let us know down below. So that's it as far as new construction homes go. I did see some other comments pulled through here. I'm going to see what's going on here. I see my good friend Mark. Where is the sign? The sign is right behind me, actually. I installed this new Sacramento real estate sign. Well, it's just Sacramento, but I was hoping to get it working. It does work. It turns on, but for some reason, the light is messing with me. I just didn't have the time. Today's been a crazy schedule. We've had a lot of consultations going on, so it's good. But I do have also Mark saying that another Toll Brothers community coming to Folsom. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's right. So another thing about Toll Brothers is they are coming in hot. They already have a luxury community going on in Folsom, specifically Regency. Now, that is an active adult community, so you got to be 55 and up to buy there or live there. but it's resort style living. So if you're considering an area where they got a pool, spa, I mean, you can get a massage, I believe there. They got a restaurant, it's gated community. I mean, huge master plan. That's going to be a really exciting community. We have a few tours of those homes as well, so check those out on the channel. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of breakdown on El Dorado Hills versus Folsom. So I'd love to hear from you. Which is better, Folsom or El Dorado Hills? If you guys have questions or if we can help you out any way when it comes to buying or selling a home, whether it's in El Dorado Hills or Folsom, feel free to reach out to me and my team down below. And also, if you got value from this video, if it helped you out in any way, smash that like button or subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. We post videos, literally 2 to 3 videos a week, whether it's new build tours, updates on communities. We are on the forefront of all the new communities in Sacramento, and of course on the Sacramento real estate market. So check that out. Glad to have you guys here. And I see Mark already letting me know that Heritage Trails is coming in. I believe that's Toll Brothers, right, Mark? So if you guys are interested in that community, let us know. We'll get the info for you. We'll see you guys next week. Happy New Year. Hope it's a phenomenal 2023. I am very excited about 23, and so I'm excited for the year. If you guys are still excited about real estate, let us know in the comments down below. We're still going to keep going. There's no stopping. Doesn't matter if the market's changing or whatnot. We're going to keep going. So we'd love to serve you guys any way that we can. We'll see you on the next one. Happy 2023.